I wore all Haramain's Amber Oud Aqua Dubai for a week straight, and here's what I have to say about it. What's up YouTube, and welcome to my channel, E Smells Good. If you are a fan of fragrances or fragrance related content, go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date on everything that I post from here going forward. Today we're going to be reviewing all Haramain's Amber Oud Aqua Dubai, their take on Louis Vuitton's Imagination. First, let's take a quick look at the presentation. This is what your box is going to look like. It's that kind of coffet style where it opens up like this and the fragrance rests on the inside as so. Honestly, I think it's a really nice presentation. I really appreciate when they put attention to detail into the packaging. This is a hard shell plastic, so I think that your fragrance will be very protected while it is in transit. It has kind of this brushed metal design with gold lettering that reads Al Haramain since 1970, Haramain Amber Oud, and then Aqua Dubai Extrait de Parfum at the bottom. The bottle itself is this almost electric blue, very vibrant shade of blue. Personally, I'm a huge fan of it. You have a metal plate on the front with kind of that brushed metal design, gold lettering just as you had on the box itself. From the side, thankfully, you are able to see how much juice you have and take a look at that dent. I mean, dent does not lie. I have put quite a bit of use into this fragrance over the past week. Let's take a look at the sprayer. Wow. I am a huge fan of pressurized atomizers, and this one did not let me down at all. I have the notes of Aqua Dubai pulled up off to the side. We have bergamot, green notes, and mandarin orange in the top. We have middle notes of amber, melon, blackcurrant, and pineapple. And then we have base notes of musk, petitgrain, galbanum, and vanilla. Now, how does all that come together? What does this scent actually smell like? Well, when you first spray it on, you get a very, very strong, vibrant burst of citruses, as well as a fruity accord from that melon and that black currant. And the melon gives it just a little touch of sweetness in the opening. If I had to say, I would say in the opening, the main notes that I'm getting are that bergamot, the mandarin orange, and the melon. I don't really get a ton of the pineapple. Now, once that fruity, citrusy nature dies down, you're left with an extremely soapy smelling fragrance, but it doesn't necessarily smell like just a bar of soap. There's definitely more characteristics, more nuances going on. You get those citruses, you get that ambery touch, the musk, the vanilla. So there is more going on to it. But if I had to sum it up, I would say that it smells like the most luxurious shower, the most luxurious bath that you could think of. Imagine that you just stepped out of the shower at the most expensive hotel imaginable. That's what this smells like. Very fresh, very invigorating, extremely clean smelling. So if you are a fan of fresh and clean smelling scents, then this is one that you might want to look into. I recently recorded a video of my favorite soapy / clean fragrances in my collection. And if I had owned this one when I made that video, it 100% would have topped that list. Now, we talked about the smell. How does it perform? Personally, I get outstanding performance out of Aqua Dubai. Personally, I've never had a fresh citrus style fragrance give me the performance that this one is. The very first time that I wore it, I received it in the mail. Of course, I was super excited to wear it, and I sprayed it on while I was just chilling. I was done for the evening, just chilling, watching some TV shows. I woke up the next morning and I could still smell the fragrance on me. I did the math and realized that it had been about 14 hours since I had sprayed this fragrance on. And no, that initial wearing was not a fluke. The entire week that I wore this fragrance, I was consistently getting between 12 and 14 hours of performance. Now, when you first spray this one on, it is going to be a projection monster. So I would say for a fresh fragrance, you would want to go fairly easy on the trigger with this one. For that first, I would say 2 to 3 hours of wearing it, it was really jumping off of my skin. And well into the 8th, 10th hour, I was still getting quite a strong sillage where as I would walk past people, it was still leaving that trail behind me. I found that throughout the wearing of this one, I was able to smell it consistently throughout the day, and I love that. As far as seasons, occasions, who I could see wearing this one, honestly, anyone. I feel like so far in the community, I've seen it marketed a little more towards men, but it is a fresh, citrusy, fruity, soapy smelling scent. I don't see any reason why a woman could not wear that as well. So this is one that I'm going to label as unisex. As far as seasons go, I do believe that this would be best suited for the spring and summertime. The musk and the ambery, vanillic nature in the base of this one will give it a little more depth, and I think that will make it play a little nicer in the springtime. But the overall freshness and citrusy nature of it, it will be perfectly fine in the summer as well. I do think that this is one that I would like to explore more so in the high heat. For me, where I live, we haven't had any temperatures really above 80 degrees this week. So I still want to know how this one plays for me when we get closer towards those 90-degree triple digit days. And I believe that this is one that can be worn really for any age group. Once again, it is a fresh, clean, soapy scent. There's really no age where it's bad to smell that way, and it does so in a very luxurious way. Honestly, if I were in the mood for a fresh and soapy scent, but I was going to be wearing a more dressed up outfit, maybe even a suit and tie, I wouldn't hesitate to wear this one because of how luxurious it comes across. But at the same time, because of its just clean nature, I wouldn't hesitate to wear it either if I just had on a white t-shirt and some Jordans. Over the course of this week, this was also a fragrance that I found to be highly complimented. I received about 6 compliments on this fragrance. The first couple days that I wore it, I didn't get any compliments. And then the first day that I wore it to work, I got 3 compliments. 1 on my way to work and 2 while I was at work. And then I ended up getting 3 more compliments as the week went on. Some of the things that I was told was that the scent smelled very fresh, very clean. I had people specifically stop me and ask me what I was wearing. In fact, one of my coworkers, who I don't think I've ever actually spoken to before, stopped me and asked what I was wearing and said that it smelled really good. So this is definitely one that if you're looking for something to get compliments, for those of you who are out there compliment fishing, this is one that you're going to really reel in quite a few compliments with. I really do believe that. And I had heard people in the community talk about how it's a compliment monster, it's a compliment monster, and even the DNA that it's based off of, imagination, is a compliment monster. And I'm one of those people who doesn't like to believe the hype of things until I've tried it for myself. And I can say wholeheartedly, I am a believer. This one is a compliment monster for sure. In fact, I think the only other fragrance in my collection that rivals this one in terms of how many compliments I've gotten in one single day might be YSL myself. And that one previously for me has been a huge compliment getter. Personally for me, I ended up wearing this one a lot to work as well as to the gym. I think those are kind of the perfect scenarios that I reach for clean, fresh style scents. Personally, I work in healthcare, so I do like to lean a little more on the cleaner side of things. And then of course for the gym, never a bad situation to smell soapy while you're at the gym. And of course, what you are all wondering, how close is Aqua Dubai to Louis Vuitton's Imagination? Well, I'm going to say that it is very close. It is not 1 for 1, but it is very close. Now, when I originally bought this fragrance, I had only smelled Imagination one time, and it was so long ago that I didn't really want to do any kind of a comparison of the two. But what I did end up doing, I have a coworker who, her boyfriend, Imagination is kind of his signature scent. So she is very familiar with the Imagination DNA. So I brought Aqua Dubai to work and I had her to smell it, and I asked her, does it smell familiar to you? And she said, yeah. And we talked about the fact that it was a dupe of Imagination. She said that it was extremely close to Imagination, so much so that she asked me to send her the link and that she was considering buying this for her boyfriend over Imagination. Now, what she did say is that it was a little more citrusy and fruity in the top, but that overall, the core DNA of it was extremely similar to Imagination. Now, that was when I had first purchased it. After I had gotten the chance to wear it for a little while during this week, I actually ended up going to the mall, and there's a Louis Vuitton store in the mall. And so I just happened to be wearing Aqua Dubai because it was my scent of the week. And I decided what better of an opportunity to smell Imagination while I'm wearing Aqua Dubai and get a chance to see for myself how close it is. And from my own personal experience and from my nose, I can say they are very close. But here are the differences that I picked up on. In the opening, this one is a lot sharper. It's a little more punchy in the opening. Imagination in the opening was smooth from the get-go. I also did not get as strong of a citrusy melon type of a note from Imagination. I got some citruses and I got some green notes in the top, but nowhere near as citrusy as this one was. Another difference that I noticed was that the tea note in Imagination was a lot more pronounced. Personally, I am a huge fan of tea notes, and I did love the more amplified tea note that I got from Imagination than I get from this one. I also found that this one was a little soapier than Imagination was. Imagination still had an overall clean and soapy-like nuance, but this one leaned a lot heavier into those soapy vibes. Now keep in mind, these differences that I picked up on, this was me literally digging my nose into different spots and comparing the two scents. In the air and the overall wearing experience, it was extremely similar. When I had Imagination on this arm and I was just walking around the mall, the wafts that I were getting were making me think of this fragrance. And after that experience, wearing this one as I would walk around, the wafts that I got of this made me think of Imagination. So they're close enough that they can trigger the same scent memories. And for me, that is a strong indication of how similar a scent is. No one is going to be on your skin digging their nose and saying, oh, the mandarin note is more pronounced. You're not wearing that. You're wearing a clone. No one's doing that. They're smelling it in the air. They're smelling it through the sillage and the projection, how it floats around you. No one is going to pick up on all those nuances outside of people like us in the fragrance community. So if you're on a budget and you really do enjoy that Imagination style of DNA, but you're not willing to spend $300 to $400 for that fragrance, then I would highly recommend that you look into Aqua Dubai. I have found this one everywhere from $40 to around the $50 range. In my opinion, if you can find it for anything less than $50, $55, it is 100% worth the purchase. My only regret is that I did not get a bigger bottle. As you can see, I have put quite a dent in this fragrance, and this is the 2 ounce. So I'm assuming that by the end of summer, we're probably going to be closer to the halfway mark with this one, just based off of how much I'm enjoying it and how often I want to wear it. Throughout the entire week of wearing this fragrance, I never got bored of it. It was never a point where I was like, I want to wear something else. I was reaching for this one faithfully all week with no hesitation. And because of how easy it is for me to wear this one, with me working in healthcare and how often I like to go to the gym, this one is going to get a lot of wears in my rotation. But that is going to be it for my full week of wearing Aqua Dubai, my final thoughts, my full review, whatever you want to call it. This one is one that I absolutely love, and I highly recommend, if you have not gotten your nose on it, that you do so pretty soon, because I have a really, really strong feeling that you're going to enjoy this one. Drop a comment down below. Let me know, have you tried Aqua Dubai? Have you tried Imagination? Let me know how close you think they are and what your experience has been like wearing this fragrance. Has it been a compliment monster for you like it has been for me? Drop a comment down below. Let's get a conversation rolling. As always, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It does so much to support this channel. And until next time, peace.